Hello again, this is Joe Jacobson with Step-by-Step Blog Building. And we are ready to get rolling here with plugins. We're getting close to the point where we'll actually be able to start writing some content and getting found on the internet. But first, we've got to get these plugins. Now, plugins, just a word or two about those if you don't even know what they are. Basically, there are the little engines that really drive and run this WordPress blog in the background. These again are created by programmers and developers out there. It's open source again. Most of the plugins are free, of course, like everything else with WordPress, but some of them are occasionally premium plugins that may have some fee associated with them. But again, I'm going to cover all the free ones, the most important, the critical ones, as well as some additional ones that may apply to your particular business plan and your niche and whatever you're building online. You can find a WordPress plugin just about for everything. So again, the first step is to log into your dashboard and then select, first you have to find them, select the critical plugins, and I'll give you a list. In fact, on this membership site here, probably right below this video link for this video, I'll go ahead and put in there a PDF, a downloadable document, so you can get a list of at least the critical ones and some other useful ones that are also very, very good, maybe not quite as critical, but that could be very handy for your particular use. So, and those will be sort of optional ones. So it'll be a pretty big list, probably about 30 to 40, maybe as much as 50 different plugins. So what we're going to do today then is show you how to find them, how to load them up or download them, depending on whether you want to put them on your hard drive on your computer and keep them for the future, or actually upload them directly inside of your WordPress dashboard, and that's going to be the method we use today to demonstrate it. Step 4 would be to activate them, and basically step 5, just wanted to mention here that there is a plugin for just about everything that you want to do, whether it's a membership site or spam control, all kinds of different things you can possibly imagine, polls, all kinds of things. You can find a plugin for it probably. Of course, if you're a developer, which most of us are not, or if you're a beginner, you're not a developer or programmer, but if you were, then you could create your own. But basically the plugins allow this real high level of functionality and help configure and make your website much more effective without you having to program all that stuff in. Okay, so by the way, the next video is going to be actually configuring each and every one of these plugins. So let's jump on the internet and go take a look at some critical plugins. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me think here for just a minute. The best thing would be, just like if you watched the last video, we went over to Wordpress.org. You can do the same thing to look for plugins, but then again, here it is right here under Extend and then Plugins. With this method, again, you're searching inside of WordPress itself, WordPress.org. You can see here that there's even more plugins than themes. Over 14,000 plugins. Now some of them, of course, are not that great, or they're not maintained. You can get an idea over here, the most popular ones. Contact Form 7. Well, that is a pretty good one. I've used it before. I actually like another one better than that. Google Analytics. We're going to download that one. This Translate one, I don't use too much. All-in-One SEO Pack. Downloaded 7.7 million times. So I've used a lot of these, actually just about every one of these, and I recommend them. There's also the newest plugs. plugins, and some featured plugins over here. So there's just a ton of different plugins, and there's so many, in fact, it can be kind of mind-boggling. And by the way, you don't want to get too many plugins on your site, because sometimes they're incompatible with each other, and so they'll actually mess up the functioning of your actual website. So the safe thing to do is to load one at a time and then see if everything's still working, and then load the next one, rather than just load them all up and hope they interact with each other well. So far, at least the ones I'm going to recommend to you, I haven't had any problems with them working with each other. Of course, there's a few I've found, and I'm not going to recommend those. So the other method then is to come in here and search for it, but then again, you have to know the name of the plugin. It's not quite as bad as the theme search. In other words, you don't have to know the exact name of it, I don't think. Let's give it a try here. Let's say that you were looking for a plugin for mobile, your mobile devices. So let me just type in mobile and see what comes back, if anything. Click on the search plugins. See, this is a little bit better than the themes. With the themes, you have to know the exact name, or it just won't find it, and it won't offer you any other suggestions. But in this case, see, that was a very generic term, something to do with a plugin for your mobile viewing devices. And here you go, WordPress mobile pack. Actually, that's the one we're gonna grab later on. I recommend it. If you do it this way, take a look at it, see when it was last updated. This one, well, not too bad, 2010, so a few months. It's got a lot of downloads, so I guess a lot of people must like it. 184,000 downloads, 4-star rating. You can click on it and get more information about it specifically. Again, when it was updated, read about what it's supposed to do for you, get the rating, see if other people think it has a lot of problems, hear what other people are saying about it. Actually, I've been using this one myself. Let me hit the back button here. And of course it gives you so many others, and this is where it can get a little bit confusing, is which one do I actually want to use? And there's sometimes so many of them. But again, look through here, see which ones are updated. If they've had a lot of downloads, maybe that's an indication that a lot of other people are happy with it. This one only has 7,000, so it's either real new or just maybe people don't like it as much. This one only has 384 and doesn't have any ratings, good ratings yet. Okay, so anyways, and then over here, of course, you've got page 2, page 3, page 4, 44 pages or more of plugins dealing with this topic of mobile devices. So this is a pretty good way to go, but again, if you don't know what you're looking for, it can be a little mind-boggling. Okay, so that's that way to do it. Now, luckily for you guys, I already have a list of just about everything that you would ever need. Like I said, about 30 to 40 to 50 plugins that have been proven pretty good. Of course, there's always some more new ones that come along, and ones that maybe I haven't discovered yet, or for a purpose that you might need, a special purpose. And they're out there for you. So let's go ahead over to the dashboard. I've already logged in, and let's go ahead and see how you would approach it from your dashboard. Okay, over here we've got the menu again. So what we do is we come down to the plugins link, and then we click on, well, plugins. That'll show everything I have loaded. So let's go and add a new plugin. This will allow you to search for plugins. It will also allow you to upload plugins if they're on your hard drive. Okay, so in our case, we're going to search for a plugin. I'm going to actually right now search for a plugin that I know I haven't loaded on this demo site. Later on, like I said, look for the PDF file and you'll have the whole list. And once you do this one time and you find this plugin and you learn how to do this, then you just need to go ahead and do the same thing, replicate that for every plugin that you want to upload. So that part's real easy. But right now let me type in here, and this is a Facebook plugin, FB. It's a like button plugin, and in this case I'm going to type those two words together, Facebook FB like button, and I'm going to search for it right inside of the dashboard, and let's see if it finds it. Let's see, yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. Now it can be confusing. See, there's 3 of them here. Sometimes there might be 10 of them listed, and you say, which one do I actually want? And sometimes you don't know. Now this one here at the top, the best way is to know who the author is, Dean Peters. This is the one I have been using. We'll go ahead and install that one. And this is another one here I'm looking at right now. It actually has a little better rating. I looked at it earlier. It looks pretty good. Has a little more functionality, by Nader. But you know what? When I tried to load it, it had some errors. So you just never know. So right now, let's go ahead and click on Install Now. It asks if you want to install it, and say OK. Usually just takes a few seconds, and it's going to go out and grab it, install it, and then you have the choice to activate it right on the spot. Okay, right here, see, it installed the plugin, and I will go ahead and activate that plugin right now. Okay, so that's it. Now I already have a whole bunch of them here that I've loaded before. In fact, right up here, let's see, we got 34 plugins that I've already loaded. And what we're going to do in the next video is actually go through here and look at these one by one and help you to configure them. Some of them are very easy and they don't even need to be configured. Others, like this all-in-one SEO pack, are pretty important that you configure it properly. And some of these in here actually you may not even use. We probably won't talk about them. But most of these I'm going to give you, like I said, about 30. I've got 34 right in here. Now here's that one I just loaded, the Facebook like button by Dean Peters. So there it is. It's activated. Now if you want to, you can go ahead and click on this and it deactivates it. By the way, if you wanted to delete it, the only way to delete it, if it's active, is to deactivate it. I'll go ahead and do it. Deactivate it, and then go back, scroll back down, and find it, and then you can delete it. Okay, but basically this is one you'll want to keep probably and use. So I'm going to go ahead and activate it again. And then what happens is you can sometimes go ahead and visit the settings page for it. Sometimes it's listed over here in the description, but usually it's over here on the left side in the menu, and sometimes you have to hunt for it because it will put it either down here all by itself, or it might drop it in this category container here with the plugins, or it might put it sometimes embedded in between these categories, or it might put it right in here under settings. In fact, most of them tend to end up in this area. See, right here under settings. So this was a Facebook like button. Sure enough, here it is. So what you need to do, and actually I'll do this for this one, but for all the other ones you need to configure them as well. But we're going to do that in the next video because that's kind of a long process because there's so many of them. In fact, some of them will be broken out into separate videos, like Google Analytics. It takes a lot more steps before it's actually configured. And also this Akismet one that we'll talk about later for anti-spam. But let's click on this one, just at least do one of these, Facebook like button. And this is the options setup. So all of them will say something like that, where you're configuring it, you're setting it up, something like that, similar to that. This one's very simple actually. If you're involved in social media, This one can be very powerful. So of course, again, we're building this website here, this blog, which is like a marketing center or hub. And so you want it to be the centerpiece and everything else feeding into it that you're doing out there on the internet, whether it's article marketing, video marketing, social media, and goes on and on. Anything else you're doing out there and creating web of content, you want it to link back into your essential marketing blog, WordPress blog. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is the like button that's going to be attached to a post and or a page. So if somebody clicks on that, they can like it, and then that gets spread out to all of their friends in Facebook. And so, of course, from there it can go to their friends, and it can become viral that way. And that way you can get more traffic to your site and encourage more interaction. And that's what a WordPress blog is all about. Google likes it when there's a lot of social interaction going on. They give your page extra ranking, your whole website extra ranking, and it's all part of their new formula, new algorithms for PageRank. So right here, you can look at this, you can configure it a little bit. Not much to do. I usually unclick this one at the top and just have that like button right here appear below the content, meaning usually below the post content, or if it's on a page, you can have it on a page as well. So it'll be at the bottom. You can determine right here whether you want it on posts or pages or both, and also on your home page. Now you can make your home page your running list of posts, or a home page can be some other static page. Come down here, you got the Facebook parameters. I usually leave it just the way it is. It looks just fine and dandy. Right here is what it's going to look like, the standard. Okay, and you can determine the width if you want it a little bit different width and height, and change the recommend or like, whatever you like there. It's pretty simple. This is a pretty simple plugin. And then what you do is you click on update options, and that's all there is to it. So I mean, this was basically the process you're going to be going through when you upload new plugins. Of course, like I said, you got to find them first, and I'm going to provide that to you. So that's going to save you a lot of time rather than going out there and searching on which ones are good. So it does take a little bit of time once you have that full list, because it's going to be a list of a couple of dozen or so that you want to load up in there. And then actually the next video, we might break that into a couple of videos, because we might as well cover all the plugins. If I'm going to recommend some, I might as well cover what they're for and how to configure them, any special features about them. So that way you know what the heck you're loading up and why. So that one actually might be a little bit long, so I might break that into two. Okay, so actually that means that this video is going to be short, and that's good. We'll get right on into the configuring in the next video. And I think that's all that we needed to cover. Let me go back just to be sure in the PowerPoint here. I think we covered everything. Activating plugins and plugins for everything you can imagine. Okay, so we're good to go, and we'll see you very shortly on the next video. Joe Jacobson presenting here for Step by Step Blog Building.